When I was getting ready to go to Christmas dinner, my parents posted a family photo without me. The caption read only the most beloved people. So I canceled the catering. Then 53 missed texts. I called and said only 6 words. I was finishing up paperwork at Romano's when Mom called. "Holly, come over for dinner tonight. The whole family will be here." I glanced at my watch. 5 p.m. and I still had reports to review. But saying no to Mom wasn't an option. "What time?" 6:30. "Don't be late." She hung up before I could respond. "I'm Holly Patterson, 30 years old, and I manage Romano's restaurant. It's upscale, always busy, and the pay is good but the hours are brutal. Most nights I don't get home until after 10. I drove to my parents' house in the suburbs, the same 3-bedroom place where I grew up. Through the window I could see my older brother Marcus with his wife Jenny and their kids Emma and Luke. My younger sister Chloe was on the couch with her boyfriend Derek. Mom had made pot roast, mashed potatoes, and green beans. We sat around the same table from my childhood, Marcus and Jenny with the kids, Chloe and Derek on one side, me next to Mom. "So Marcus, how's the new promotion going?" Dad started immediately. Marcus launched into details about becoming senior account manager at his insurance company. Jenny talked about how proud she was, how they could finally think about buying a bigger house. "Emma's reading at 5th grade level already," Jenny added. "That's wonderful," Mom beamed. "Luke, tell Grandma what you learned in preschool." I ate my pot roast while they discussed Marcus's work, Jenny's part-time job, Emma's swimming lessons, Luke's potty training. When they finished with Marcus's family, attention turned to Chloe. "Derek, how's the new job at the bank?" Dad asked. "Really well, sir. Actually, we wanted to tell you something." Derek squeezed Chloe's hand. "I proposed last weekend. We're engaged." The table erupted. Mom cried happy tears. Dad pumped Derek's hand. Marcus clapped his back. Jenny wanted to see the ring. Even the kids got excited. "Oh honey, this is wonderful." Mom hugged them both. "When's the wedding?" "Next fall, nothing too big. But we want to do it right. Derek's parents want to meet you all. Maybe dinner next month." I kept eating, cutting my meat smaller and smaller. This was normal. Marcus and his perfect family got the spotlight first. Then Chloe with whatever milestone she was hitting. Nobody asked about my work, even though I just landed a huge catering contract. Nobody asked if I was dating anyone. Nobody asked how I was doing at all. "Holly, pass the salt," Marcus said without looking at me. I handed it over and went back to my potatoes. "Oh, that reminds me," Mom said suddenly. "Holly, I need to talk to you about Christmas." "Finally, what about it?" "We're having Christmas here, but it's going to be much bigger than usual. Marcus, Jenny's parents are coming, and her sister's family, Derek's parents, plus his brother and wife, and all the usual family, Aunt Marie, Uncle Bob, Cousin Linda, and her kids." I was doing math in my head. "How many people total?" "About 20. Isn't that exciting?" 20 people, Mom. That's a lot of food to prepare. You sure you can handle it?" "That's what I wanted to talk to you about." Mom's voice got that tone she used when asking for something. "I can't cook for 20 people by myself. So I thought, since you work at that fancy restaurant, you could order all the food from Romano's and have it delivered Christmas Eve. Professional quality food, no stress for me, and you can probably get a discount." Everyone looked at me, waiting. I set down my fork. A full Christmas dinner for 20 people from Romano's would cost a fortune. We weren't casual dining, we were upscale with Christmas premium pricing. "Mom, that would be really expensive." "How expensive?" Dad asked. I ran the numbers. Full Christmas dinner, all sides, appetizers, dessert. 20 people, holiday pricing. Around $3,200. "Look, I could contribute maybe $1,000, but the rest would have to come from everyone else." "What?" Mom's voice was sharp. "Holly, you make good money. And you work at the restaurant. Can't you get a discount?" "It doesn't work that way, Mom. I'm a manager, not the owner. Even if I could get a discount, this is a massive Christmas Eve order." "But surely you could work something out," Jenny said. "Family discount?" They all stared at me like I was being unreasonable. "I can ask, but I doubt it. $1,000 is what I can afford. Everyone else would need to chip in." Mom's look could have frozen hell over. "Holly Marie Patterson, I cannot believe you just said that. You should be ashamed. You make more money than anyone here. You work at a restaurant. This is your family. And you're nickel and diming us over Christmas dinner?" "I'm not nickel and diming. I'm telling you what it costs an offering to pay a third." "A third," Chloe whispered to Derek. "God, she's so greedy." Derek chuckled. My face burned. "Excuse me." "Nothing," Chloe said quickly. "No? What did you say?" "I just think, you don't have a family to support like Marcus. You don't have wedding expenses like us. You live alone in that little apartment. What do you even spend money on? Are you serious?" "Holly," Dad's voice was stern, "your mother is planning a nice Christmas. The least you could do is help." I offered to help. I offered $1,000. "That's not helping," Mom said. That's making your family scramble while you sit on your pile of money. I looked at Marcus. What do you think? He shifted uncomfortably. I mean, it would be tight, but if everyone chips in. Silence again. You know what? Mom's voice was deadly calm. Forget it. Holly, you'll pay for the whole thing. End of discussion. You make plenty of money, you eat the food too, and it's your contribution to family Christmas. I stared at her, at Dad nodding along, at Marcus and Chloe avoiding my eyes. Fine. I'll order the food. Good. Delivered at 5 o'clock Christmas Eve. I nodded and went back to my pot roast, appetite gone. Conversation moved to Emma's school play, Luke's toys, Chloe's wedding planning. I finished eating in silence. After helping clear dishes, I drove home gripping the steering wheel. $3,200. But it was Christmas and family, and apparently I was the only one who could pay. Next morning, I placed the order at Romano's. Prime rib, honey glazed ham, all the sides, appetizers, 3 desserts. Everything for a perfect Christmas dinner. I put down $1,500 deposit and scheduled delivery for December 24th at 5 p.m. My boss Tony looked over the order and whistled. Big family Christmas? Something like that. Your family's going to eat like kings. I forced a smile. Christmas was 3.5 weeks away, and I had a restaurant to run. The next 3 weeks flew by in a blur of holiday rush at Romano's. December was always our busiest month, with corporate parties, family gatherings, and date nights filling every table. I threw myself into work, trying not to think about the $3,200 I'd committed to spending on Christmas dinner. Every month for the past year, I'd been sending Mom $1,000 to help with their mortgage payments. Dad had taken early retirement due to health issues, and Mom's part-time job at the library didn't cover much. Marcus and Chloe never contributed anything, but somehow it always felt to me to help out financially. Between the mortgage help and now Christmas dinner, I was looking at over $4,000 spent on my family in just 2 months. Meanwhile, Marcus was planning a vacation to Disney World with his family, and Chloe was busy planning her engagement party. Christmas Eve finally arrived. I'd taken the day off, which was rare for me. The restaurant was closed today anyway. Tony always gave the staff Christmas Eve and Christmas Day off. I called Romano's at noon to confirm everything was ready for the 5 p.m. delivery to my parents' house. All set, Holly, said Maria, our head chef. Prime rib looks perfect. Ham's glazed and ready. All the sides are prepped. Your family's going to have an amazing dinner. Thanks, Maria. I really appreciate you handling this on Christmas Eve. No problem, family's important. It was 2 p.m. and I was getting dressed to head over to my parents' house. The plan was to arrive early and help with decorating and setting up for guests. I just put on my red sweater when my phone buzzed with a notification. Mom had posted something on Facebook. I opened the app and immediately felt sick. It was a family photo: Mom, Dad, Marcus, Jenny, Emma, Luke, Chloe, and Derek. They were all dressed nicely, smiling at the camera in the living room I knew so well. The Christmas tree was behind them, perfectly decorated. I wasn't in the photo. The caption read, "Only the most beloved and dear people to me. Merry Christmas from our family to yours." I stared at the screen, reading it over and over. Only the most beloved and dear people. I scrolled down to the comments that were already appearing. Aunt Marie had written, "Beautiful family. But where's Holly?" Mom's response made my blood freeze. "Oh, that's nothing. Nobody would notice her absence anyway." I sat down heavily on my couch, still in my coat. They'd taken a family Christmas photo without me. Not only that, but Mom had deliberately captioned it to exclude me, and when asked about my absence, she dismissed me like I didn't matter. The worst part was that they could have waited. I was supposed to be there in an hour. They could have taken the photo when I arrived, included me like actual family. But they chose not to. They chose to take their beloved and dear people photo without me. This wasn't new. Growing up, it had always been obvious that Marcus and Chloe were the favorites. When Marcus made varsity football, Dad took him out for a celebration dinner. When I made honor roll 4 semesters in a row, nobody said anything. When Chloe got her first job at 16, Mom threw her a little party. When I got promoted to assistant manager at 25, I celebrated alone. For Marcus's high school graduation, they threw a big backyard party with all his friends. For mine, we went to dinner at Applebee's, just the 5 of us, and Dad complained about the prices the whole time. When Chloe graduated college, they rented a hall and invited the extended family. When I graduated with my business degree, they sent a cart. Even holidays had always been about Marcus and Chloe. Christmas mornings when we were kids, their pile of presents was always bigger. "Holly doesn't need as much," Mom would say. Where Holly's more practical, she appreciates useful gifts. Useful gifts like socks and school supplies, while my siblings got toys and games. I'd gotten used to being the afterthought, the one who helped but wasn't really part of things. But seeing that photo with that caption, reading Mom's dismissive comment about my absence, it hit differently today. Maybe because I was about to spend $3,200 on their Christmas dinner. Maybe because I'd been financially supporting them for a year while Marcus and Chloe contributed nothing. I took off my coat and sat on the couch in my Christmas sweater, staring at the photo. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to see any of them. I looked at the Facebook photo again on my phone screen. Only the most beloved and dear people. I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to see any of them. I called Romanos. Romanos, this is Maria. Maria, it's Holly. I need to cancel my order for tonight. What? Holly, everything's almost ready. The prime rib is perfect, the ham's glazed, all the sides are done. We were about to start packing everything for delivery. I know, and I'm sorry. I'm willing to pay for everything, but please don't deliver the food to my parents' house. But Holly, please Maria, just don't deliver it. I hung up before she could ask more questions. 15 minutes later, my phone rang. Tony. Holly, what the hell happened? Maria told me you canceled your order. Everything's ready to go. I found myself telling Tony everything. The family dinner, being expected to pay for everything. The photo. Mom's comment. He listened without interrupting. Jesus, Holly, I'm sorry. He was quiet for a moment. Listen, you're not paying anything, and I'm refunding your full deposit. Tony, you don't have to. Actually, this worked out perfectly. About half an hour ago, one of our regular customers called in a panic. Family emergency, needed a full Christmas dinner for tonight. I didn't know what to tell him since we were booked solid. But now I can give him your order, and he'll pay for the whole thing himself. After I hung up, I felt lighter somehow. I wasn't going to my parents' house. I wasn't going to smile and pretend everything was fine while they enjoyed a dinner I'd paid for but wasn't really wanted at. I sent Christmas texts to my friends and co-workers, everyone except my family. Then I turned off my phone. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. I was going to spend Christmas Eve alone, and that was fine with me. I had some frozen dinners in the freezer and a bottle of wine I'd been saving. It would be quiet and peaceful. Around 6 p.m., my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole and saw a delivery driver from Ramados holding bags of food. This is from your boss Tony, he said, to tell you Merry Christmas. It was a full Christmas dinner for one. Sliced prime rib, roasted vegetables, mashed potatoes, even a slice of chocolate cake. Tony had sent me Christmas dinner. I actually started crying. Here was my boss, showing me more care and consideration than my own family had in years. I heated everything up and ate in front of the TV, watching old Christmas movies. The food was delicious, and for the first time all month, I wasn't stressed about money or family drama. I wondered what was happening at my parents' house right now. The guests had probably arrived by 6 p.m. expecting dinner. They'd probably called the restaurant by now, only to be told I'd canceled the order. I imagined their faces when they realized there was no food coming. Part of me felt guilty, but a bigger part of me felt satisfied. They'd made it clear I wasn't really part of the family anyway. Now they could figure out Christmas dinner without their ATM. I went to bed early, feeling more relaxed than I had in months. Christmas morning, I turned my phone back on. 53 missed calls, dozens of text messages, all from my family. I read through the messages chronologically, watching the panic escalate. 5:47 p.m. Mom, where's the catering? They should have been here by now. 6:15 p.m. Marcus, Holly, where's the food? Guests are arriving and there's nothing to eat. 6:32 p.m. Chloe, Holly, answer your phone. What's going on with dinner? 6:45 p.m. Dad, Holly, we need to know what happened with the restaurant. Call us back immediately. 7:23 p.m. Mom, I called Romanos and they said you canceled the order. What the hell is wrong with you? 7:41 p.m. Marcus, Holly, you've completely ruined Christmas. Jenny's parents are mortified. The kids are asking why there's no dinner. 8:15 p.m. Chloe, you're insane. Completely insane. Do you know what you've done? Derek's parents think we're broke white trash who can't afford Christmas dinner. 8:52 p.m. Mom, we had to send everyone to McDonald's. On Christmas Eve, Derek's parents left early. Jenny's sister was asking what kind of family we are. You've humiliated us. 9:34 p.m. Dad, Holly, I don't know what's gotten into you, but this is unacceptable. You've destroyed Christmas for everyone. The messages got angrier and more desperate as the night went on. I actually laughed reading some of them. McDonald's on Christmas Eve. I could picture Mom's face when she had to tell 20 dressed-up guests that dinner would be Big Macs. At 10 a.m., my phone rang. Mom, I answered this time. Holly, Mom's voice was so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. What the hell did you think you were doing? You completely destroyed Christmas. 20 people showed up expecting a beautiful dinner and instead we had to send them to McDonald's. Do you have any idea how humiliating that was? I waited for her to finish screaming. Derek's parents left after an hour. They think we're crazy. Jenny's family was so uncomfortable. The kids were crying because they didn't understand why Christmas dinner was hamburgers. You've ruined everything. Are you done? I asked calmly. No, I'm not done. I want to know why you did this. Why you deliberately sabotaged our Christmas. I saw your Facebook post. Silence. What Facebook post? The family photo. The one where you wrote only the most beloved and dear people to me. The one where Aunt Marie asked where I was and you said nobody would notice my absence. More silence. Holly, you forgot I was supposed to be there. You forgot I was paying for the entire dinner. You forgot I exist unless you need money. You misunderstood. I didn't misunderstand anything. You made it crystal clear exactly how you feel about me. So I decided if I'm not beloved and dear enough to be in the family photo, I'm not beloved and dear enough to pay for the family dinner. That's not what I meant. Yes, it is. And you know what else? I'm done. I'm done being your ATM. I'm done paying for things while you ignore me. I'm done pretending we're a real family when you obviously don't see me as part of it. Holly, you're being ridiculous. I've been sending you $1,000 every month for a year to help with the mortgage. Marcus doesn't contribute. Chloe doesn't contribute. Just me. Well, that stops now. Starting in January, you won't get another penny from me. You can't be serious. Dead serious. You have 2 beloved children who can help you with the mortgage now. Holly, wait. I hung up and immediately blocked all their numbers. For the next 2 hours, I did laundry and cleaned my apartment. Around noon, my doorbell rang. I looked out and saw all of them. Mom, Dad, Marcus, Jenny, Chloe, and Derek. They looked upset and determined. This conversation was inevitable. I opened the door. We need to talk, Mom said, pushing past me into my apartment. They all filed in and stood in my living room like an intervention. Mom's eyes were red from crying. Holly, I don't understand why you did this, why you ruined Christmas and now you're threatening to stop helping us financially. I didn't threaten anything. I told you exactly what's happening, but why? Chloe asked. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? You called me greedy for not wanting to pay $3,200 by myself. You excluded me from the family photo and Mom literally said nobody would notice if I wasn't there, and you're asking what's wrong with me. They all looked uncomfortable. Holly, Dad said carefully, if this is about that photo, your mother already deleted it. I stared at him. You think this is about one photo? What else could it be about? Marcus asked. When was the last time any of you did something for me? When was the last time you asked about my life? When was the last time you treated me like family instead of a bank account? They looked at each other, confused. We always include you, Jenny started. No, you don't. You include my money. There's a difference. Mom started crying again. I don't understand why you're doing this to us. Without your help, we'll lose the house. You have 2 other children. Ask them. Holly, be reasonable, Marcus said. You make more money than us. And that makes me responsible for your parents' mortgage? I walked to the door and opened it. I want all of you to leave. Now. Holly, Mom tried again. Out, all of you. I'm done with this conversation and I'm done with all of you. They filed out reluctantly. Mom still crying. I closed the door and locked it. Then I went to my computer and canceled the automatic monthly transfer to Mom's account. I felt free. For the next 2 weeks, my phone rang constantly. Aunt Marie, Uncle Bob, Cousin Linda, they all called trying to convince me to reconcile with my parents. Each conversation was the same. Holly, your mother is so upset. This is tearing the family apart. Holly, whatever happened, you need to forgive them, their family. Holly, your parents raised you better than this. I hung up on all of them. Nobody asked what my parents had done. Nobody wanted to hear my side. They just wanted me to fix things by giving in, like always. 2 months after Christmas, I was reviewing inventory reports at Romano's when Maria came into my office looking uncomfortable. Holly, there are some people here to see you. They say they're your parents. I looked through the office window and saw Mom and Dad sitting in the waiting area by the host station. They looked terrible, tired, stressed, older somehow. Mom and Dad walked into my office like they were approaching a funeral. Mom's eyes were puffy from crying. Dad looked like he hadn't slept in days. Holly, Mom said quietly, sitting down without being invited. We need to talk. There's nothing to talk about. Yes, there is. Dad's voice was strained. We came to apologize. I leaned back in my chair and waited. The photo was wrong, Mom said. The comment I made was wrong. We should have included you. We should have waited for you. I deleted it as soon as I realized what I'd done. What you'd done was show me exactly how you really feel. That's not true. Mom, stop. You wrote only the most beloved and dear people and I wasn't in the photo. When someone asked where I was, you said nobody would notice my absence. Those weren't accidents. Dad cleared his throat. We'd been talking to a counselor. She helped us understand some things. I raised my eyebrows, such as how we'd been treating you differently than Marcus and Chloe, Mom said. How we've taken you for granted. How we've expected you to solve our problems without giving you the same attention we give your siblings. It felt surreal hearing her admit this. The counselor made us write down everything we've asked from you in the past year, Dad continued. The monthly mortgage payments, the Christmas dinner, all the times we called you for help but never called Marcus or Chloe. When we saw it all written down, we realized we'd been using you, Mom finished. and we're sorry. Dad had to go back to work. Mom continued. I'm working part-time at a grocery store now. We don't need your money anymore. We just want our daughter back. We know we messed up, Dad said. We know saying sorry doesn't fix everything. But we want to try to change how we treat you. We want to earn your forgiveness. I looked at them sitting there, looking genuinely remorseful for the first time I could remember. What about Marcus and Chloe? They're angry at first, Mom admitted. They thought you were being dramatic. But when we explained everything to them, when we told them about the counseling and what we'd realized, they understand now. Chloe cried, Dad said. She said she never realized how differently we treated you. Marcus too. They both want to apologize. I sat there processing this. It was more accountability than I'd ever gotten from my family. I'm not ready to forgive you yet, I said finally. Mom's face fell, but Dad nodded. We understand. We just wanted you to know that we recognize what we did wrong. We're working on changing. And whenever you're ready, if you're ever ready, we'd like to try again. Can we ask one thing? Mom said. Can we at least call you sometimes? Not for money, not for favors. Just to check in, to see how you're doing? I thought about it, maybe, but I need time. They left quietly, and I sat in my office for a long time thinking about what they'd said. It was the first time they'd ever acknowledged their behavior. The first time they'd apologized without making excuses. 3 months passed. I didn't contact my family, and they didn't push. Occasionally Mom would send a brief text, hope you're having a good day or thinking of you, but nothing demanding a response. My bank account looked healthier than it had in years. Without the monthly $1,000 payments, I was actually saving money. I'd started looking at vacation packages, thinking about taking a real trip for the first time in my adult life. Work was going well. Tony had given me a raise after the Christmas incident, saying he'd never had a manager handle a difficult situation with such grace. I'd started dating Tom from the wine distributor more seriously. He'd met some of my friends and coworkers, and everyone liked him. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was living for myself instead of managing everyone else's problems. I wasn't sure when or if I'd reconcile with my family. The hurt was still there, deep and familiar. But knowing they'd acknowledged their mistakes, that they were getting counseling, that they'd apologized without making demands, it meant something. Maybe someday we could have a real relationship, one where I was valued for more than my bank account. Maybe someday I could trust them to treat me like family instead of like a resource. But for now, I was content being on my own. I'd learned that being alone was better than being used. I'd learned that I deserved better than being an afterthought in my own family. Most importantly, I'd learned that I could stand up for myself, even when it meant standing alone. For the first time in 30 years, I felt like I knew my own worth. And it wasn't measured in dollars.